right, let's get into it here. Let's start things off with Pebble. Shortened event, and boy, what I would have loved to see a fourth round. Uh, Wyndham, what a day to shoot 60. I mean, the dude could not miss with a putter, even after he missed that chip left-handed, which, they say they say camera adds 10 pounds. Maybe it adds space between the ball and the bunker, but I thought he had room to swing that right-handed. It clearly didn't matter. I mean, he made the putt from off the green, padded the putting stats even more. Only had 23 putts. I mean, the dude just went insane.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. I mean, I have never seen like a tournament in that aspect of where someone's just draining 20 footers left and right. It was like, I mean, I think it totaled up to like 190 feet of putts. Like, that's just insane. I think it's like top five all time or something like that per round.
Yeah, no, it was quite ridiculous. Um,
Yeah, I think he was happy the tournament ended to that day. Later on in the press conference, he was talking about how he's like, yeah, I kind of hope we don't play tomorrow because after shooting 60, getting paraded around like you won the tournament, it's like kind of nice I don't have
yeah,
to wake up and finish off those last 18 holes.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's no way the
and I
Pebbles are going to
mean,
be that hot again. There's no way.
my God,
Yeah,
it could
after
have it could have been even better. I mean, he had those three
Yes,
putts
yes.
on 16, 17, and 18 dead in the heart.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he could have easily shot in 58. Like
Easy.
that would have been nuts.
Yeah, it would have been crazy. But no, I know guys like Aberg and Thomas and Dietrich and Scheffler. I mean, all right there, giving them one more day after shooting 60. I mean, I think it could have gotten really, really interesting on day four, but we don't get to find out. And Wyndham Clark is the champion, and hell of a round, hell of a day to shoot 60.
Yeah,
Um,
Has there
that,
been
that
any
weather out there
chance?
would have been interesting last day. I think it was Max Homa or someone else, probably Max Homa, who tweeted we need to have like a closest to the pin competition on 7 out at Pebble because I think it was blowing like 45, being right
yeah.
out on that corner of the ocean. That would have been some good TV to watch without golf going on that day.
100%. Yeah, I mean, what it like goes into all of that? I mean, obviously there was crazy amount of winds and stuff like that. Like, what do they go out there and are they simply just like have like an hour period where they're like, okay, this is it's not blowing hard. We're gonna put this into play or not. Like,
Well, I mean, the head greenskeeper came out the day before on Saturday night, maybe early Sunday morning, saying that they had gotten the greens good enough to where they thought they could keep the ball from rolling under 40 miles an hour wind. But anything over, like anything north of 40 would have been really, really hard to get the ball to stay there on the putting greens. And I mean, when you can't get the ball to stay when you're putting, it's
yeah,
really difficult to play some golf.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
and then, I mean, with the forecast, I mean, it was projected to be at 60 miles an hour for from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So I think that
Yeah,
there was no way. And then to not do it on Monday, it sounded like the course was already soaked. It was already super wet, and they were going to get more rain Monday. But I mean, my thing, it's like, if it was playable, if it was to a point where it wasn't playable, that's one thing. But at the same time, like it's Pebble, I mean, going out there on Monday, that the winds weren't as bad, and there were 10 to 15 with some gusts in the 20s. But I kind of feel like that's kind of part of it when you're out there, and but
yeah. Go see who's the best mutter out there. Essentially,
yeah,
let's just see how dirty these guys can get.
yeah, mother was Mutta, his father was a Mutta. But yeah, no. Anyhow, let's get into the probably one of the most fun events of the tour season, the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Going to be a hell of a week, ton of fun. Off the POA, no more Poana greens. I think you're going to see guys making a lot more putts out there this week. Scotty Scheffler defending his back-to-back title. No world number one has three-peated since 2002 when Tiger did it at Bay Hill. So going to be a long shot for him to do it, maybe. However, I kind of do think that we're back to more of a predictable event this week. I think we see one of those favorites win it here. And as history has shown us, people who have success at this event in the past tend to play well here year to year. Definitely the highest intensity electric crowds stepping into the stadium. You're kind of looking at those players that like to relish the spotlight a little bit. Guys like JT, Max Homa, Minwoo Lee. They just love to hit those shots that get the crowd going, and there's going to be plenty of places to do it here. So let's get into Scotty Scheffler a little bit. Do we think Scotty will pull off the three-peat?
Negative.
I think it would be pretty insane if he pulled off three-peat, but I think just with the field this week, see if he keeps it rolling. I mean, he's played some good golf to start the year, but we never know. That 16th hole out in Phoenix is pretty unpredictable. Sometimes the crowd can eat you up early in the week, make it hard to recover, hard to gain your confidence back, but we'll see. See if Scotty keeps it going. I think the last guy, I know you mentioned Tiger was the last world number one. I think the last guy to win like 3 tournaments or same tournament 3 years in a row is like Steve Stricker in like '09 to 2011 at the John Deere. So not many guys have done this. So we'll see if he gets it done this week.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if he can get his putter going, I mean, it's going up, up and down. Like the past couple weeks, like it'll be like a streak of like 4 or 5 holes where he's putting well, and then all of a sudden he just loses it again. So like if he can get that thing going and being consistent, then I mean he's gonna blow doors on everybody. That's just how he is. I mean he's statistically leading in every single category pretty much across the board besides putting. So and he's been like that since all of last year when he piled up all those top 10s or whatever it was. So.
Yeah, I mean, this course can favor guys that are long and accurate off the tee. I think it's more demanding on the approach shot. Those really, really good ball striking course. So, I mean, he's always got that, and putting kind of tends to show not the most important stat here. So I think if he can hit a bunch of greens and be good around the greens with chipping, I think if he gets the putter going, that's kind of the only thing that's holding him back. I think that he definitely could do it again. Definitely capable if anybody's going to do it. And since Tiger, it's Scotty, based on what we've seen the past few years. So yeah, definitely see him top 10. With the field, I don't know if I see him winning, but you never know. You never know.
If you look at the field, though, like I think it's 2 through 7 on the top 10 of the world golf rankings aren't playing. Like, no offense to JT or Jordan or any of those guys, but Scotty doesn't really have to get his putter rolling. If he just strikes as well as he always does and hits it to 10 feet every time, he's probably going to win. I don't think he will, but it's going to be really easy for him too, assuming he hits it the same he has been for the last year and a half, I think.
Let's get into some of the tournament favorites here and who we like, kind of directly combating that, talking about JT. I love JT this week. He is, I think he's got 17th or better, 7 out of 9 appearances here, 6 in a row. He's gotten 17 or better at this event. Solo 4th last year, and he's top 6 in his last 5 starts. I think 100% a guy who's going to feed it into the fans. I think he always has loved that. Definitely in Ryder Cups, he's not afraid to get the people going, to kind of have that, I want to do it kind of mentality. But again, I mean, one of the most elite ball strikers on tour. I think he's got so much confidence coming into this week. And like I said at the beginning of the year, I really think he's going to win a major. 9 out of the last 10 players to win the Waste Management have gone on to win a Players or Major in that same year. So I really like this tournament to kind of leapfrog JT to being back. I mean, I think that's already kind of the conversation of JT being back this year. I think his form is unbelievable right now, and he just needs this one to get him the confidence that he needs going into April and the major season. I think this would go so far for him.
Yeah,
I definitely
couldn't agree. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I think if JT is left as far as one of our picks this week and someone doesn't take him, I think they're definitely doing themselves a disservice.
Yeah, I think to piggyback a little on what you said, him maybe getting a major under his belt this year, getting another under his belt, he's got the capability. He saw him out at Southern Hills in 2022 against Mito Pereira in those playoff holes before Mito had a little stroke in his driver swing on 18, kind of blew the tournament. But he gets it done.
Don't go
out
right.
there.
Don't go right. Don't go right.
Yeah, don't go right. I think he's got the bounce back in him this year after struggling a little bit with injuries last year. I think you're right. Getting started this week would propel him into the first little wave of the majors and then into the summer.
Yeah, I sounded very anti-JT in my thing about Scotty. I didn't mean to be, because I do think he will play good this week, but I just kind of want to point out that I think Scotty is still kind of the dog at this point.
I love it.
I mean, you cannot ride with the guy who's won it 2 years in a row. Like,
Yeah.
like Zach said, he just had a crazy year of like top 10. So even if he doesn't win this week, he's probably going to be high up on that leaderboard. Go low.
I would put my life savings that he's getting top 10 this week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
It's impossible that he doesn't, I would say.
All right, other favorites. Who we got?
I think a guy to watch this week, it's my lock of the week personally, is Tom Kim, top 10. He finished the year really well last year, and he struggled to start this year. He's just, like, he didn't even make the cut at, I think it was Amex. I don't think he made the cut. He didn't really play well at Farmers. He played okay at Pebble. Like, I think he's just waiting to kind of burst out into the scene. Because, like I said, he played well last year. Obviously, he's still really young. I think he's, 22 right now?
Yeah.
Like, he's still really fresh to the professional golf game. So I think this would be, like you said, it's a really favorable tournament. It's a fun tournament. Like, this would be a good way for him to kind of get going on the year.
I kind of think that plays into, I was watching Golf Channel this morning. They're all sitting there on the 16th hole talking about it. They're talking about, just being a rookie, like how excited you got to be to come to this event. Because I think it is that, like, I think Tom Kim, I remember watching him hit balls at the Travelers that a couple years ago, and they're trying to land on that tiny green. And Tiger's sitting back there watching him just hitting these wedge shots. And I think he's definitely got the talent and kind of one of those moments to where it's like, all right, got something to prove. Want to step up there and show that he can make it and that he can be an elite player on tour, which I definitely think he's capable of.
Speaking of rookies, I did see that no rookie has like rookie in terms of like their first time playing the course has ever won. So there was like 33 in the field this week. So probably not likely that one of those newer guys are going to come in and take the number one spot this week.
Which 33 of those guys that kind of already sets up for those favorites to be up there for most of the weekend. I think kind of like I said, that previous success here goes a long way, and I think that we're going to see that for sure.
Yeah, I actually like Sam Burns as well. I think he's another guy that's also kind of fiery and like JT. He started putting pretty well last week. I think he finished it was like top 15. I'm pretty positive last week. So if he can keep that going, I know it's a little bit different conditions this week from a green perspective, but that guy, once he gets his putter hot, like, he is one of the best putters out there, I feel like, for sure.
Yeah, and he started hot too. I remember he was on 59 watch at Sony Open. I think he ended up shooting 60. But he's had a good start to the season. And again, another one of those guys that's like you're just waiting for him to break out. Like waiting for this guy to have a good year. Maybe his hair has grown back and he's not going for Alabama anymore, but I've been waiting for him to break out since he got on. I thought he was going to win a major last year. So I think, kind of a comeback year for him too, for sure. Another guy I'm looking at kind of in the mid favorite, I think especially from last year, is Sahith Theegala. I know a lot of people have been high on him to start the year. He's had some struggles, but man, hold on, I'm getting a pop-up. That second place last year at this tournament, I remember he came off the course crying, went straight to his parents. He had a hot start at Century, finished second place there too. Missed the cut at the Sony, 64th at the Farmers, T20 at Pebble Beach. So I think, again, with that motivation from last year, I think he would really, really like to win this one. I think he's going to have a lot more motivation for it coming off of last year. And again, another one of these young guys that needs that little bump to get him going. And he's been so close. So I think he's going to be a good player to watch this week too, for sure.
Was it last year where he was on 17, where he the drivable par 4, and he just rolled all the way across the green into the water? Was that last year?
I think so. Yeah. I think so. I think that's when he got super emotional about it, was after that shot.
Yeah, his dad and his parents were off the side of the green. I mean, I don't have him this week, but I'm rooting for the guy. He's a fun guy to watch. And I just remember last year watching the tournament, they had the camera on his dad and his family and stuff. And watching his dad was almost as electric as the finishing holes of the golf tournament. So if he's in the final grouping this weekend, it'll be fun to watch. A guy I'm riding with this week, I think he's started off the year good, made 2 cuts, hasn't really showed his game yet. I think Cam Young, he's a guy to watch this week. Good ball striker, good driver of the golf ball, so a lot of holes set up for him. He also can hit those high towering draws, which some of the holes out at in Phoenix, it's just sets up to his swing well. So looking for big things out of him this week. Maybe play a little catch up in the QI10 game for this first reshuffle.
And if I believe correctly, I think he's in the upwards of triple-digit odds. Am I right?
I believe he is.
I think I saw him like kind of towards the end of the pack whenever the odds came out. So I mean, it's happened 5 times so far. May as well happen again. And if he does it, I mean, he's got to be a favorite. Yeah, so good kind of segue. Let's hear about some long shots. If we do have that triple-digit winner, who do we think it's going to be?
I don't know if he'll win, but I think somebody to keep an eye on this week is Joel Damon. He has sucked since
been tough.
since full swing was getting filmed, when it was
the
out,
curse.
since then. But he was kind of like, that was his electrifying point, was the waste management. So maybe this is his time to
Man of the people,
get back to,
you know.
Maybe this is his time to get back to being a top 50 golfer.
Yeah.
I think, again, I'm not saying he's going to win or anything, but I do think he might play pretty well this week. 'Cause like I said, this is kind of a big break, like a jumping off point for his career as far as people knowing who he was.
Hey, I know we have a lot of fans that watch this show, and I'm sure someone's going to be at the Phoenix Open. Somebody, for the love of God, throw Joel Damon some high noons or something while he's out there before he gets to 16.
I wish I had a long shot of the week this week in a hometown favorite. Plays out at Trinity Forest. Harry Higgs. He's not in the tournament this year, but gonna miss seeing him and Joel Damon's big bellies on 16 this year. You know, man of the people out there. I don't think he was high on the list for sponsor invites or anybody extending an invite out to him this year after last year. But gonna miss them out there this year. I think Damon too, being from Arizona and being from around that area or living around that area, I think performing under the lights of the hometown crowd be fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I've got one is Kevin Yu, local guy to Scottsdale. He pretty much grown up around there, so you never know. Hometown guy, he could come out, and I mean he's used to the course, so could come out and just light it up. And then another one is Mark Hubbard. I think he finished. I think it was tied T3 last week, so
he's been playing well this year. Yeah.
He's been playing pretty well. So I think he's at I think it was 1,500 to 1 or something like that, something crazy, or 150 to 1. And yeah, I don't know. He could surprise us and be up there again.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the guys I'm looking at this week, he got a little worse odds after the Pebble Beach finish. I think he's 75 to 1 now. So not as big of a long shot, but still a long shot in my eyes. Tom Dietrich. He came off that top 20 at the Farmers, and then got that T4 last week at Pebble. Again, another one of those guys, just been playing super solid and has been really composed, I think, through a lot of these high-pressure tournaments, being Torrey Pines and Pebble. So I kind of like to see him keep things going this week and see what he can do.
What do you all think about Wyndham Clark this week after his 60?
Is he in the field this week? I don't even remember seeing.
Yeah. He's towards the top of the odds. He's plus.
He's the second best player, technically.
I mean, ever since last year, I kind of feel like Wyndham always kind of flies under the radar, just not being as much of a flashy guy, kind of more laid back a little bit with kind of how he speaks and what he says. But I mean, I think he's always been a guy that's definitely always in a top 20 conversation. Super consistent player, especially when the putting's good. And I mean, I don't see any reason why that he couldn't keep it going this week. I think. I gotta think those guys that played Pebble last week are gonna have a little bit easier time here, and coming off the 60 with a chance to shoot 59, he's either gonna keep it going or it's gonna go the other way.
Sure.
Yeah, I think after getting a major under his belt last year, playing well, and after the 60 last week, and like we said, not having to finish out that tournament, kind of riding that high still into this week, not having to go play in those more difficult conditions on Sunday or Monday. I think this week he's got the capability to go low. He's got confidence in his game. So if he gets rolling on Thursday, Friday, then I'd expect to see him in the final couple pairings on Sunday.
Yeah, hey, he got that extra day of rest. Who knows?
True.
Very much so.
All right, let's jump into lock of the week. Based off of everything that I've said this week, I love Justin Thomas. I don't see how he doesn't win. My lock of the week is JT top 5. JT top 5.
Top 5.
I like
I
that.
like it. I'm going JT also, but the other JT Poston.
The postman.
I'm going top 10 for him. He's Mr. Consistency. I've seen that he's got 4 straight top 20s. Two of those being in the top 10. So he's made 11 straight cuts out of his last 19 rounds. He's had 17 of them being under par. So I think he's one of the top in strokes gained total right now. So I think that he'll definitely come out and compete.
Yeah, this week I'm rolling with Christian Bezadenhout, top 20. Guy who started off the year hot at the Amex, then didn't play well at Farmers. I think he was T20 last week. He's started off this year and been closer to the top of the leaderboard more than I expected to see him. Not a guy I really watch particularly, but he's been playing some good golf, and so I've been seeing him a lot more through these past few tournaments. So riding with him for a top 20 this week.
I like it.
Yeah, I already said mine, quick trigger earlier, but I do think Tom Kim, top 10. I think that's
right, Tom Kim.
A really good pick, good value on the books if anybody wants to do that in a legal state. But I think, like I said, I think this is like we've said plenty of times. It's a fun tournament. It's more of an atmosphere tournament versus like a golf tournament compared to the other events. It's just an event you want to kind of jump off with and get your season started because it's a really good atmosphere. It's fun. It seems like pressure's off almost, especially going off the Pebble, which is elevated now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more of a party atmosphere. Place turns into an absolute zoo. I cannot wait to see everything on Zyre Golf. I remember that woman last year. I actually put it on my story today, but slamming those 2 beers in the middle of the crowd, really getting the crowd fired up. And then just the dead sprints from the gate each morning to 16 is electric. The streaker in the 19th hole last year was unreal. They already got things started off wild this year with a Post Malone concert on Tuesday night. I mean, are we going to see a beer shower? Will there be a hole-in-one, and will somebody get killed with a beer can?
So.
That was going to be my next question. Are we going to see the hole-in-one, or are we going to see like a 30-minute pause in between groups for the beer shower cleanup?
I hope so. I hope so.
It was electric when they had. It was like, what was it, 2 in 1 day or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was Sam. Was it Sam? It wasn't Sam Ryder's year, right?
Yeah,
or
Sam
was
Ryder
it?
and,
It was, yeah.
I forgot the other guy.
I don't remember who the other person was.
Yeah, you always forget the other guy because it wasn't as electric as Sam Ryder's. They had to put some caps on it a little bit.
I mean,
It's easy to
like
remember
anything,
jogger Sam Ryder.
yeah, like anything in golf, Tiger started that trend I think in like 1997, and so
Oh yeah.
anytime since then you got to go compare it back to that. But with the new stadium set up, everything surrounding that hole, it's electric city out there. Concerts going, beer showers going. I got to get out there sometime soon because it's one tournament that I want to go to, haven't been to, need to definitely get that on the calendar for next year.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. RKGC to the WM Open.
Let's get some media passes.
We're gonna have a live show there next year. Be sure to tune in for that. 2025
Live show, 16th hole, closest to the pin competition.
They're gonna go nuts when he hits this thing.
Yeah,
I
and
think
then
the
we'll turn
PGA
around and
hates
do it
it.
in April at the Masters too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, gents, good show this week. Good luck. Can't wait. Going to be electric. Super Bowl on Sunday as well. Don't forget to check Bovada. There are some Super Bowl and Waste Management winner parlays that have some pretty good odds. So be sure to check those out as well. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you, boys.